5 years ago today, my son went to bed and woke up in the middle of the night screaming, came to my room and said, "Mommy will help me," and started banging his head on the wall. He looked at his hands as if they belonged to someone else and just continued like that for a week. He got a little bit better, but his language never came back. He lost all of his words. He lost his safety skills. He lost his identity. What he gained was an autism diagnosis. And Emmett is autistic, and I say that proudly. I say that as someone who thinks that word just so perfectly describes his identity now. And I am proud for him to be part of that community. I think there are such incredible advocates in the autism community. But what's missing is the why. And that's all I want. I want research into how this type of regression happens to a kid who's 4.5 and typically developing. What I don't want is to hear autism's a spectrum, everyone's different. You met one person with autism, you met one person with autism, because that just minimizes this. It says that no one's experience is unique enough or to warrant any investigation. And that's not right. What I don't want is to be asked, when were his vaccines? And did I check the water for lead and mold? And you know what? We checked all these things. We did. He went through a huge repertoire of testing and repeat tests, and nothing has come up. This is a form of autism. In fact, it's a form of autism that has existed before the word autism even came out. It used to be called Heller syndrome, and then went through a whole bunch of different names. And then there was childhood disintegrative disorder, which was in the diagnostic manuals and not in the ones that are out currently. So it took us a while to find it. And it's shocking to hear that there are researchers who have found differences in biology, in eye tracking, in the parts of the brain that are activated in an MRI when looking at certain pictures, in the genes, in all these areas. There's differences for kids who have regressions like my son, and there's not many of them. I mean, regression is common in autism. Sure, we hear that. And developmental regression where kids lose language happens typically before 2. But here my son was 4.5. Like that's really rare. I'll say that. And whether that's all part of one spectrum or a completely different thing, that's not for me to say. But it's not for any of you to say it's lead, it's vaccines, it's mold. But what it does warrant is research, which has just stopped. It's just stopped. Not because people aren't interested, but because it can't get funding. So, yeah, I'm angry and I'm sad because 5 years ago, I lost my son how I knew him. And I love who my son is now. And I can have both of those things. But that doesn't mean I just accept it.